Well, even 4 weeks has passed since that magnificent last day of the season for Leeds United, and here we are looking ahead to next season with today's Fixtures show. The fixtures are out, and joining me, Tony Dorigo. Hey, Tony.
G'day, how are you?
Very good, thank you. And Dom Matteo with me as well today. We're going to look through the fixtures, dissecting what's going to be a unique season as well with the World Cup slap bang in the middle of there just before Christmas, but lots to look forward to. And I mentioned only 4 weeks, less than 4 weeks since that massive day down at Brentford, and you look through the fixtures that we've got coming up and it really does highlight and emphasise how important that day, that win was. Tony, you were there, it was massive and it leads us into the next Premier League season.
Yeah, it's where we want to be, which is incredible, but just to go through those emotions of that last game was, it was right on the edge. We're fortunate, we got through it by the skin of our teeth, but when the fixtures come out, you think, wow, now here we go again, because the teams we're going to play, we're looking forward to another season in the Premier League. This is what we want. We don't want a season like last season, though, where it was just a bit too tight for our own comfort. But this season, let's go. Look at those fixtures. Let's get it on.
Have you recovered? Are you all right?
My voice, as you can tell, is quite... I can't believe I kept getting higher and higher. I think what it was, that there was so many things going on that day as well. Not only with us, obviously elsewhere. And it was just one of those days that you didn't know what was going to happen, and true Leeds United style, but at least we did it in the end.
Okay, let's get stuck into this season's fixtures. And Dom, a home fixtures start with. In fact, we'll start and end the season at home. Tottenham at the back end, we'll come on to that.
Yeah.
But starting with Wolves at home, we haven't had that opportunity since being back in the Premier League. And it's great, isn't it? Because that opening day of the season is a special moment, hopefully a bit of sunshine, and everyone piling into Ellen Road for what will hopefully be first victory of the season, Dom.
Yeah, indeed, it'll be very noisy, very lively. I think the fans played a huge part in us staying up as well. Like you say, Tony was down there. Unfortunately, I wasn't. But that for me, it was just the passion that the fans showed, and you can tell from Tony's voice and all that. It was just amazing. But like you said, you were talking about the fixtures. When you're playing a team like Wolves, first game, listen, no disrespect, they're a good side, but at home with our fans behind us, obviously players coming in, things are going to happen as the season goes on now, and hopefully we can bring some more players in. But for me, I think it's a great opportunity, and it's a good start, isn't it? A home game for us, it's going to be bonkers at Ellen Road. The fans will be right up for this. I'd be glad to get them back because we need them.
Speaking, of course, Tony, of you being very high-pitched with your celebrations,
yes.
Reminds us of Molyneux last season. And the celebrations
3-2 was crazy. What a second half that was. It was absolutely nuts. Wolves it will be a good game. We know it's going to be a difficult game, but you talk about the sun shining. I used to hate the first game of the season because it was hot. It would come out, the heat, suddenly the temperature rising. You don't want to play in that sort of heat, but at home, that's all you can ask for. First game at home, someone that we think will be in the mid-table that we're kind of aiming at. It's perfect.
Then we travel to Southampton as well. That's the first away game of the season. It really tailed off towards the end of last season. Tony, can that be a danger of seeping into the next season if you're not careful as a team?
We hope so. Always take the positives. I think they'll be terrible this season, Southampton. It's more to do with us. I think those early games, it's more to do with us, how we set up, have we got that way of playing nailed down? Because I think if you looked at the way we finished the season, great spirit, great defensive, ability, but going forward, we'd like to improve on that. So it's more to do with us. If we go down there and play at our best, as Southampton away is a side that you think, okay, might be able to get something there for sure.
And just when you've settled into the first couple of games of the season, back at Ellen Road for a bit of Chelsea, Dom.
Well, you know what I think of Chelsea.
Don't start.
But I always think. Listen, we know their history. They're a good club, strong club. Tony's been there, he's played there, he knows what it's like. Fans are up for it. But I think I always used to like playing against Chelsea. It was always a bit of, between Leeds and Chelsea, it was always a bit of that one there. And I think, again, it's a winnable game because obviously they've been going through a bit of a transformation. Who will they keep? Who'll go? Who'll stay? They've got a lot going on as well in their kind of world as well. So, it's a winnable game. I think any game at home for us, as long as we get a good start, I think the momentum can grow. And obviously Jesse Marsh, with his kind of, the way he talks and his enthusiasm, I just want to see a bit more of that as well at times because everyone's enjoyed it. I think when he first came in, everyone looked at it a little bit and was like, oh, it's a bit too enthusiastic. But I don't. I think, in a way, we've got to use that as an advantage. And the fans get behind him, I think we'll be fine.
Okay, just looking at a whole at those first six, and actually could sort of extend it to those first 10 games as well. In the first six, there's then Brighton away, Everton at home and Brentford away. Two of the so-called bigger teams in the Premier League in those first 10. there's no easy games, but in terms of the fixture and how it's gone, there is a great opportunity. You look at those fixtures, those first 10, you think, this is a chance to get up and running quickly.
Yeah, and getting on a roll, getting that confidence early. And if you can get some points behind you at that stage, things can then relax. It's a very different situation. If you're up against some real big boys early on and you get no points, the pressure just ramps up. I look at those fixtures and think, okay, there's some good tests in there, absolutely, but we can get a good haul of points.
Okay, 6 games in October. It's ram-packed because, of course, there is an international break beforehand preparing for the World Cup. And then we've got this unique situation, which we've never had before, of a Winter World Cup. Dom, what's it going to be like to have this break just once the season has almost felt like it gets going?
I'm not really looking forward to it, to be honest. But no, listen, it is what it is. We've just got to get our heads around it. Some lads are going to be away and they're going to be involved, and that's part of your job, isn't it? And playing at the highest level in a World Cup is the biggest honour, I think. So yeah, people will have to go away. Hopefully, anyone who goes away from our team, they come back fit and ready to go again. But it's going to be difficult, and I think the games after the World Cup, the first few games, teams have been away. They're going to be tired. They've played a lot of games, hopefully, and we can maybe capitalise on the back of that.
Yeah, you mentioned about coming back from the World Cup. Maybe a few players tired. That first game back is Manchester City at home here at Ellen Road, scheduled at the moment for Boxing Day. All us fans are going to be chomping at the bit to get back into Premier League action, aren't we? Regardless of what happens in the World Cup, the finals just over a week before then. Massive game to come back to.
An ideal game as well, because I think once you've had that break against the big sides, what you want to hit them nice and early. You don't want a Man City to get into a rhythm and then suddenly we have to play them. So we've got them. We don't know what's going to happen, but it should be a great occasion. But yeah, the World Cup in the middle of the season for me, it's bonkers. However, for players, I think actually it's quite good, because I would always point to the Euros and the World Cup. You'd go there after a full English Premier League season under your belt, tired, whereas now in the middle of the season, I think the lads have got a good chance of going there in a better physical state. Hopefully the Man City players, when they come back, they're absolutely knackered and they played every single game. But yeah, what a enticing tie the 26th will be.
Yeah, so we're basically saying England win the World Cup and then Leeds beat Man City at home on Boxing Day. A few of the Man City players were a bit extra tired, and it's a great Christmas all round.
Job done, we hope.
Lovely
well,
stuff.
we certainly hope.
That Christmas period is different to normal because of the World Cup. Normally you build up to those Christmas fixtures, but there's a couple there. The one after Man City is Newcastle away. What are Newcastle going to do this season? What are they going to look like around Christmas time, New Year's? Where will they be sitting?
Well, listen, the way they finished the season and the job that Eddie Howe's been doing, I've always liked him as a manager. And I think he will, obviously, listen, they've got the financial backing now to do what they want, really. So it'll be interesting to see what Eddie does. I think he will bring some experienced players in as well, to just a boost to that side of it. So they might be players that might not play every week in, week out, but I think he'll be clever with it. He'll be quite shrewd with the players he'll bring in, I think. But yeah, with that kind of money, you can go and do what you want, can't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Let's skip forward to the back end of the season now. There's obviously loads of football to be played, but just interesting that you look at the last 6. Actually, it's a tough run-in. You have to say, if we look at the rest of the season and say, there aren't too many games where we've got the teams that are going to be challenging right at the top in a row, like we've had in previous seasons. But that last 6 and the last 4 in particular, Man City away, Newcastle at home, so those reverse fixtures, West Ham away, Spurs at home here on the final day of the season. Of course, great to be here on the final day of the season, but wouldn't want to be leaving too much to chance around that.
We will have enough points already. I don't know what you're on about, Rich. Calm down, relax. Everything is going to be absolutely fine. West Ham, didn't we beat them away anyway? So that's another 3 points there. So I don't know what you're on about. It's fine. Yeah, you're right. I think at least we haven't got those big teams all jammed together. That seemed a strange situation for us, certainly. The previous season that was difficult. But Spurs, I fancy them to do rather well this season. I think Conte's building something pretty special there. So, and I'm with you, Dom. I think Chelsea here in the third game, that one, I think we could win that one. They'll still be getting things sorted. But Tottenham will be difficult. But by that stage, we'll be okay.
Yeah, and Dom, just nice to be able to. Is it for the players nice to be able to say, "Oh, great, we're at home to start with, and we're at home at the end"? Is that just a nice thing to see?
Yeah, it is. It's not happened for a couple of years, has it? So for us, it's listen, home games are special, aren't they? That, like we said earlier. it'll be rocking more at Ellen Road. I don't expect anything less. Like you say, Tony said, usually it's red hot, isn't it?
Yeah, first game of the season.
Yeah, it's been like that most of our careers, hasn't it, when you play that first game. But yeah, listen, it's a great opportunity, and with the players who've come in already and the players that will come in, I'm sure, hopefully bring something to the table and they just love it and they enjoy playing for the club. That's what it's all about.
I think what's great, they're making their debuts at home in front of an Ellen Road crowd, and everyone will explain to them what it's about.
Yeah.
They don't know, they haven't experienced it, but they will on the first day, which will be brilliant.
You mentioned the home games. Eddie Gray always says your season will depend mainly on how you do at home, and everything after that's almost a bonus on top of that. You look at those first 6 home games that we're going to have coming up: Wolves, Chelsea, Everton, Forest, that's a fixture we've been waiting for quite some time as well. Villa and Arsenal. There is opportunity there, isn't there, to cement Ellen Road as being the fortress that we know it can be and it needs to be.
It hasn't been. That's been the big problem, hasn't it? We have shipped too many, certainly points here and goals, so that's got to change. But you're right, with those sort of fixtures, you could probably gain that confidence and then start to make it, much more of a fortress. And it is all about at home. When you get on that roll with the crowd behind you, back in 91-92, we felt like we'd never lose, and we didn't lose a game at home because you just get that momentum and away you go. And obviously that is very difficult, but if we can do better at home, that's important.
And the renewal of an old rivalry there, 98-99, I think Gunnar Haller was on the score sheet last time Leeds played against Nottingham Forest. But it's great, they're a club as well that a lot of people have been waiting to get back in the Premier League like they did with Leeds.
Yeah, my mate works at Forest, Stephen Reid, I played with Blackburn. Good lad, he was speaking really highly about the manager and stuff as well. Like he said, such a great guy, doing such a great job with the players he had available. So they're an interesting one to watch, great history as well. So I was glad that Forest come back actually.
Tony, lots of work to be done between now and that. First game against Wolves, already the signings of Brendan Aronson, RASMUS KRISTENSEN coming in. We know there'll be hopefully more coming through the door as well. It's a really important off-season here now, isn't it? And the build-up before that tour to Australia as well. What's going to be going on around the scenes as we speak, and the players finish with a combination of international duty and getting married, a fair few of them as well. What's going on behind the scenes now?
Victor's just sprinting past the window there for someone else. The boy's going to be busy, and he already has been busy, and I think that is important. What we know is that our squad lacked depth, didn't it? And we need to fill a lot of gaps. Need to improve it, as well, and get it done early. So, the earlier the better. Your targets aren't going to last in that window for very long. And we've made a good start. And so I think we're still hoping for 1 or 2 more. But at least we know we escaped. We shouldn't be in that position again. And the club are, setting about making sure that we're not. So some good signings. Don't know how they're all going to fit in. Certainly the first couple that played for Red Bull Salzburg under Jesse Marsch, you'd expect them to hit the ground running. Lots of exciting stuff. Let's see.
And Dom, from a player's perspective, that will have been a bit more refreshing. I mean, lots of them have been away on international duty. Dan James qualifying for the World Cup, a few of the boys all over the place, but a chance to feel a little bit more refreshed just from the Premier League side of things, and then to come back and kind of go again.
Yeah, most definitely. I think you're spot on what you've said. I think for me, you need that little break at times, don't you, as well? The players have put such a shift in. It seems like they've been non-stop the last couple of years. So go away, get your breaks, come back and be ready for it. Back, first game of the season, be right at it. And I think we'll have that mentality. I think one thing I've noticed from Jesse Marsch so far, the way he's been speaking, is that positive side of it. If he can bring that with his tactics as well alongside that, I think we'll be absolutely fine this year.
Okay, well, there you go. The fixtures are out, and amazingly, it's really not that long to wait until it all kicks off at the start of August. Leeds United taking on Wolves in that first home game of the season. As always, all the coverage will be with you right here on LUTV.